Hello everyone and welcome back. Meat Department here. I'm so glad you could join me for another video today. So, here we are in Giant Simulator. We're doing things a little bit different for this video. So after reading several comments in my videos from you, the player, and browsing through the Mithril Games Discord, I thought it would be a good idea to start hosting a series about player suggestions for Giant Simulator. So that's what we're here today to do. I am going to read through player suggestions from players like you that have utilized the Mithril Games Discord Giant Simulator suggestions channel to place your suggestions. So what they do in the Discord is they allow players to write suggestions for the developers to read and to think about in future development. Sometimes they approve them, sometimes they disapprove, sometimes they sit on them. Ultimately, the decision for these suggestions and how they will be utilized, if at all, is up to the Mithril Games development team. So I want to say that all this information is taken directly from Mithril Games Discord. I will post the link to their Discord in the description below for you. If you want to join the Discord, I highly suggest, if you're a Giant Sim fan, you do. And I want to say these suggestions again are taken from players in that Discord directly. I may have edited the phrasing, the grammar in them to make them better for visual appearance on the video, but I didn't alter these at all other than just fixing typos and stuff on the screen. Now I'm not going to include any player game tags or anything like that in it because I don't think that's the right thing to do, but just know you can join the Mithril Games Discord, browse up and down that GS suggestions channel, and probably see most of these in there yourself. So again, the link to the Discord is below in the description, and all credit goes to Mithril Games Discord and of course you, the player, for placing these suggestions. What I'm going to do here today is simply a reaction. I'm going to give you what the suggestion is, explain a little bit of my thought process in determining whether or not I approve, deny, or am indifferent about that particular suggestion, just so you have, from my perspective, my thoughts on these suggestions, maybe how they can benefit the game, why I approve them, why I don't think they're good for the game, or why I'm just on the fence about whether or not they should be considered or not. But just know the ultimate decision again goes to Mithril Games and their development and management team on these suggestions that are taken from their Discord. So please check out their link below, join the Discord, and become an active member of the Mithril Games community in that regard. Alright, so with all that said, let's get started and pop up on the screen the suggestions. We have about 15-16 of these, so try to keep it at a good pace for you. So first up, there are 5 quests plus the winter event quest that you can do. So create a menu to toggle on off quests you do not want to receive. So this player basically wants the option to toggle off quests they no longer want to receive. Maybe you're tired of getting the arena quests and having to wait so long to complete a quest, and you just want that off the board. Well, they're suggesting having a toggle to do so. So I think this is a pretty good suggestion. Now, and I'm thinking maybe the infrastructure of an actual toggle might not be the best way to implement this. I think actually we already have what we need right at our fingertips, and we may not even know it. So Mithril Games did add a skip quest button to quests. When you receive a quest, pop it up on the screen, you see there's a skipped quest. The problem with that is it immediately costs Robux. And a lot of the players in this game do not have the Robux to just expend on skipping a quest. So I think actually what the developers should consider is giving 2 or 3 quests a day as a free skip. It resets every day, you can skip 2 or 3 more. I don't see how that's going to hurt things for anyone in the end. If I'm playing and I get the arena quest, I really just don't want to spend the time to join 4 arenas again. I should be able to skip it without paying Robux. I think having the option to do so 2 or even 3 times a day is a beneficial thing for players to really keep them invested in the game and actually playing it more. Because I know more often than not when I'm playing and I'm grinding, when I get to that 4 arena quests, that's when I start to feel like, that's like usually when I start doing quests and just stand around AFK because I just don't want to do it no more. So I think this is a good suggestion, and I think that skip quests button needs to be enhanced. Give us some freebies every single day, and then have it start costing Robux for players that are really aggressive with it. I think that is the best takeaway from this, so I'm going to approve this one. This is a good one. Good job. Next up, make it so we could do more than 1 quest at a time. this is a very good one as well. I think we should have an outlet to receive more than one quest to complete at a time, go around completing several, and then go around turning them in. I think that feels good. It feels more like an adventurer, just for RPG elements and also for efficiency. So now how I think this can be done is not to just overload you with Sir Hops-a-Lot quests. I think more quest givers need to be added to the game personally. I think the temple should have quest givers and more things to do within the temple itself. I think other zones should have quest givers. They should release more zones that have quests in the zone. Therefore, you could hold more than one quest at a time. And I'm imagining that's the initial inception of the whole quest point menu or quest menu in the first place, because it has so much room on it. I think their idea was probably to allow you to have more than one quest at a time. So I think we just need to progress forward with implementing new zones and terrain to the game, which have quests relative to that zone that you could pick up and get beneficial rewards from so that you can hold more than one at a time. So I think this is a very good suggestion, and I'm going to approve this one as well. Next one up, add a New Year's pet. So yeah, this is pretty much already been done. We've been in the winter event and we got a new 6-pack of winter pets. So we pretty much got this. They're not New Year's themed, but they're winter themed. Everyone's excited about the Yeti, the snowman, and all that. So this has already kind of been implemented. So of course, gonna approve this one quick and easy. Next up is you should add daily and weekly quests. And I do not want to have a daily quest that takes 2 minutes to complete. I want quests that can take a whole day to complete, but it will give you a very big reward. So basically what this player is saying is they want to add more complicated or long-term quests that could take potentially a week, or you're given a week to complete. And I think that's a good thing. So I think on top of daily quests from Hops-a-Lot and maybe other quest vendors in the future, we could have weekly quests added once we achieve that huge weekly goal we turned in for a large reward. Whether that be straight up gold, experience, combination of all that, or it even gives us a boost. Maybe it does give us a daily boost or something like that, so double experience for a day. So let's say you collected 50,000 orbs. Well, because you did that within the week, here is your daily boost or something like that, and you can only do that once a week, of course. There's one weekly quest. So I think that's something that could spice up the game, make things interesting, definitely promote active gameplay, and also give us a very big reward in the end. And I think it's cool because it could vary. The reward doesn't always have to be double XP, it could be double gold, 50% quest points, whatever the case may be. They kind of already have that infrastructure in place when they toggle events on anyways, so I think they should highly consider weekly quests that do take a long time to complete, but the reward is well worth it for actually going that extra mile and actively completing those quests. I think this is a good idea, and this is approved for sure. That's good. Good stuff. Next up, add pet evolution like artifacts. So this is a short suggestion, but kind of a long, complicated answer and thought process to this one. So overall, I think pet evolution is interesting, and a lot of games do pet evolution, but I feel like a lot of games also take pet evolution for granted, and the way they develop the game is kind of, it waters down what evolution is all about. It's there just to do it. And I don't think a player necessarily needs to or wants to play Giant Simulator to just feel like they have to just keep evolving pets endlessly. Because there's plenty of simulators out there where you just log in, get pets, constantly upgrade them to insane merging levels, and for what? You don't really feel that much more attached to them, right? However, in Giant Simulator, we do feel attached to those bullies that we finally got, or those Yeti that we've been working on, we finally got. It just felt good to get that Yeti, right? It was so hard to get in the first place. Could you imagine getting 5 times that to merge them all? That's kind of silly. And also, on that aspect, I think the multipliers that the pets give you, especially once leveled up, now this could really scale the game out to something really extreme. So just comparing it to artifacts, right? We got artifacts back in September, I believe, of 2020. Just a few months ago. That was a great new addition to the game. It gave us new multipliers, right? It gave us more gold, but it also gave us soul gems and quest point multipliers for the very first time. Super helpful. And the power level adjusted according to that. All of us got stronger as players. Top end players, beginner players, everyone got stronger. Well, very quickly into that introduction, Mythril Games actually unlocked the evolution of artifacts. What that means is I mean, we just received artifacts. Weeks later, we can now evolve them into Evolution 1. We could take 5 artifacts of the same type, combine them together to make it twice as powerful. And that again, scale things out really in a crazy direction. We started getting really high levels across the board, and that was just with the artifacts in itself, giving us more soul gems and stuff, more gold. It wasn't even giving us direct XP or crazy gold multipliers. I think when pets get involved, it's gonna just double things up. It's gonna make things a little insane, and Giant Simulator is gonna kind of lose its feel right now, the normal feel. And to me, what that means is we're still seeing levels in the hundreds of thousands, millions, now just getting over billions plus, but nothing that's too crazy extreme. We're not like hundreds of billions, trillions, quadrillions, whatever comes after that, sextillion, you know, crazy stuff, right? Like other games have. This game feels realistic. It really has the essence of combat, medieval, rustic feel to it. And I think with the levels scaling so rapidly, if Pet Evolution was implemented, I don't know if that would feel right. We're going to start seeing players just super high level. You're going to kind of lose the meaning of what a high level is in the game. Because for one, you're going to be confused as a player. Like, what is the high level? We have QA, QN, QI, this, that, the other abbreviation. We don't even know what it means anymore. So with that said, Pet Evolution, great idea. Could really boost us up to be stronger, but is getting that strong and making those numbers that big actually beneficial for the game? Is there a point to make our numbers bigger, or is the outlook on the game to make it more fun to play and collect and achieve things, and gradually have those levels progress and get stronger as we do get more stronger pets and artifacts and stuff like that? I think adding the Pet Evolution, at least at this time, isn't necessarily a great thing for the game. At least that's my opinion on it right now. So I'm going to deny this because I don't think Pet Evolution quite fits in with the Giant Simulator theme at the moment. I just think the multipliers will get too out of hand, and we're just going to be tacking on levels just for the sake of doing it, honestly. So we'll see, but that's my thoughts on it. So make an announcement 24 hours before the event ends so we know how much time we have left to buy things. So this is a good suggestion right here. Actually, I think with any event, there should be an in-game countdown when it gets towards the end, so that you know when you log in, you have this amount of time before the event ends. So if you are collecting snowflakes for the winter event, you know you only have 1 or 2 days left before that expires and you lose all the snowflakes. Use them or lose them. So I think this is a great thing to implement in the game, definitely. I know this time around in the Discord, one of the managers did post a giveaway, and on the bottom let us know this winter outpost event will last until the end of January. So we've all been portraying that to you. I've been telling you in my videos that we have till the end of January. Whatever that means, I don't know, but just assume it's the last day of January for now. But I do think an in-game timer would be a beneficial thing for future events for sure, so we know how much time we have. So approved. Moving on. Mobile players get a timer for Arena. This is a good thing. I think we should have some sort of interface that we could toggle on or off, or maybe not even toggle it, but just there. Lets us know when the next arena starts and when Borak respawns. I think this is a great thing, not just for mobile players, but PC players as well. I think all players should have this on the interface, so approved. Good one. Next up, get snowflakes for selling winter event pets. So as with any event or special currency or whatever currency you spend on the item, really, this should apply to anything. If you buy a certain item with currency and sell it, you should receive a portion of that currency back. You shouldn't get gold for it or anything like that. You should get back the currency you spent on it. So I approve this one. I think it's a good idea, and maybe if we get another St. Patrick's Day event with the clovers, that would be fun, and we get clovers back for selling those pets. So let's see. I approve. Next one, make crit chance cost 0 after we hit 100% chance, so we do not have useless upgrades. So this one, I think this one is a good one as well. It does feel like we're putting skill points into crit chance almost because we have to, not because it benefits us as a player. Because as we all know from playing Giant Sim, it's really about your level. Second to that is, of course, your skin and weapons and what the enchant level is. But first and foremost, just a little bit of a difference in level usually determines who the winner's going to be when you fight. So someone level 10,000 probably going to crush someone that's 5,000. Of course, if the 5,000 has a noob skin on and the 10,000 has a fully buffed up elemental crystal golem, they might last a little longer and could win. The 5,000 could beat the 10,000 in that case, if the level 5,000 player had the better skin buffed up and the 10,000 didn't. But besides those situations, I think this best accounts for players that are closer in level to each other, where critical strike might actually matter. And again, this was something that was implemented when the game first launched, right? Levels were lower, getting levels and scaling away from each other was uncommon. Players were a lot closer in level, and whatever little piece of gear and edge they had in skills, I believe had more of an impact at that time. So this just boils down to this just being fundamentals of the original game and really hasn't kept up with the pace of the scaling of levels. So that's why the critical strike feels so mediocre, and this skill point right now feels really underwhelming. And I think we'd all like to see this enhanced or replaced entirely. So this again relates back to my previous thoughts on scaling of levels, right? If we're going to rapidly scale levels, it's going to kind of throw things out of tune. And this is one of them. The crit chance means almost nothing right now, because if you're a high level, that's really all that matters versus the lower level. This means nothing, so I agree with this. This skill needs to be reworked, revamped entirely with how the game currently sits, so I approve this for sure. So next up, make a 50% button for upgrading stuff so we can only max upgrade half our coins while upgrading our weapons. For example, if I go AFK overnight, I will want to split my coins between my weapons and skins, not just put all gold into only one weapon. So the max upgrade button is awesome. Great job on that, Mithril Games. That is awesome. Just as is perfect. If you max upgrade all your stuff onto one weapon, well, next time you build up a stock, put it on the other weapon and then the skin and so forth. But, you know, adding a half max button might be a good thing as well, so you can actually take your current stock and half max this weapon, half max that one. Or half max this weapon, half max that skin. I think this is a good suggestion. Now, do I think it's mandatory? I don't think so. It hasn't seemed that big of a deal to me. And, you know, I get a lot of gold. I just alternate when I max upgrade. So this is a good suggestion though, so I'm going to go ahead and approve it because it makes sense to be able to split your stuff up without having to click the button 1,000 times like we used to. So good job on that. We only have 5 more to go. This next one is new auto rebirth button in the settings that automatically makes us rebirth when we hit level 100. We can turn it on off whenever we want to. Simple yet helpful. You know, I've been debating this one a long time. Obviously the rebirth leaderboards are kind of insane, myself included, having to climb up there. So me personally, the reason why I climbed the leaderboard on the rebirth is not because I want to get on the leaderboard for rebirths. Honestly, I don't care too much about that leaderboard because it kind of feels artificial. It's not something that players actually achieve by manually rebirth, and we basically use a macro program that we record our play and continue that process over and over again to achieve those auto rebirths that we call them. And really, this started, I guess, a while ago, probably when I first really started playing hardcore last year. I noticed the rebirth board growing and growing, and in order to stay competitive with the pets leveling up, players had to stay competitive with those that were using the macros to auto rebirth. So it kind of just trended on, and now more and more players are realizing that and using it, and rebirths are getting higher and higher across the board because of it. So this is a good option if Mithril Games wants to promote rebirths getting high. I think it would definitely be a Game Pass though. You'd have to pay, definitely, to have this option to auto rebirth. But it would help make it accessible to all players, regardless what platform they play, if it's built right in. But the other thing is just to reimagine what rebirthing does, right? Right now, when you rebirth, you get another level of pet experience every time you swing. Meaning, a player with 1,000 rebirths, every time they swing, they're giving their pet 1,001 experience. If you have 100 rebirths, you're only giving them 101. So obviously, the player with 1,000 rebirths is going to level their pets faster than the player with 100. Because they're getting more experience every time that weapon swings, and that's why players with 1 million or 2 million are getting their pets leveled up a lot faster because they want to take advantage of those multipliers. Again, this relates back to another suggestion we just went through. The pet multipliers are beast mode, super ultra important and strong in this game. And that's why I said what I said about the pet evolutions. It's strong, and we know it. And that's why some players have started macro auto rebirthing. That's why I did it up to level 1 million, because I wanted to stay competitive at least in some regard with it. Even though I don't really fancy that much, to be honest with you. So just reimagine the rebirth system. Is it going to cap off? A, can pets only receive a certain level as max? Or do pets only benefit from a certain max amount of rebirths? Now, I don't know which one's better. I think keeping the pets soft capped like they are right now, where they can continue leveling to high levels, is perfectly fine. If the cap is brought down to whatever the developers feel is necessary, so only this amount of swings is the max that they can benefit, then that's another way to cap it. Now, I don't know if any of this is necessary. We could just keep it as is. The only thing is it relies on the external macro, basically, to achieve those high macro levels, which gives the competitive players more of an advantage. But I guess if you're in the competitive lot to begin with, everyone's doing it, so it's not that bad. In the long run, in terms of competitiveness goes, it's just more or less, I don't think the original inception or design of the game. So for that reason, I think if auto rebirth continues to be a thing, as is, why not add a game pass that does it for you, so that at least all players have the access to auto rebirth. I think that's a good thing if all players have the same access. So not just us with the PCs or the Android devices that have the auto clicker macro functionality application on them, whatever it's called. I think all players should have the access to this if it's going to remain as is, and probably making this auto rebirth button a game pass would make sense. So I'm actually going to approve this one, because I think opening this up to all players is going to be beneficial for the game, unless the rebirth system is overhauled in the first place. So yeah, long one on that, but it's kind of a powerful topic. So next up, bring back arena level. You know, I don't remember or quite actually know the significance of the arena level, because again, a player that's 2 million is going to crush someone that's 5,000. I don't know what the arena level has to do with anything, to be quite honest with you, other than a number that just grows as you grow in levels. So because of that, I'm going to deny it, because I really don't see a point in that. You literally just got an arena level for X amount of levels you achieved in game. So next up, add Among Us pets. I'm going to deny this right off the bat, and I'm going to give you my reason for that. Although Among Us is popular right now, and adding more pets in the game is always fun, I think adding gimmick type pets or stuff in the game won't stay true to the feeling and setting of Giant Simulator. I think having Among Us pets floating around us just takes away from the actual RPG elements of the game. And for that reason, I don't think adding any gimmick pets like this is really a good design choice. So denied on that. We got 2 more to go. Make a dungeon in which we get a random sword, but you need at least 5 people to join, and the damage you do to the boss is based off your sword. So this is kind of interesting. This kind of takes Giant Simulator as a pure simulator and kind of brings in the RPG adventure elements. Now it's going to make it more active, right? There's a dungeon, it requires a group, and you receive a random weapon that you use to fight. So I don't know if all of this is good, but I get the idea, right? Make something where you can group up with players to ultimately beat a boss at the end and receive a reward. So I think that's cool. And I also think maybe adding various difficulties to something like this might be fun. Actually, that uses your weapon and armor stats. So if you have a very strong weapon, you're a high level, you're going to be doing more damage than someone that's lower level. It's just the way it is. Now, I think that will probably still scale. So even though you're high, you're not going to be doing like crazy damage to the boss. It'll still scale down to like the high end of what a player would have in the dungeon, the instance. But this is a kind of good idea. It just kind of, again, is the direction the developers want to go with how much activity or active gameplay fighting actual mobs in the game they want to go, as opposed to a simulator where you buff up, get strong, and complete simple tasks to keep progressing forward. Now, there's a gap there between simulator and adventure game, and I don't know where Giant Simulator will end up in that regard, but it's definitely interesting. So I think thinking about this is a good thing for developers, so I'm going to approve this because I think it has potential at least to implement new game modes for Giant Simulator, for sure. Good stuff. And last, can you make it where we do not get teleported out of the dungeon after killing Borak? It would be a good spot to AFK farm to grind gold. I agree. I think it would be a good spot to AFK farm and grind gold. So after you kill Borak, you just pretty much stand there. He spawns again. You'll hit him, and you know you can AFK and get a lot of Borak gold for doing that. I don't know. I think it was intentionally instanced in the first place so that you couldn't AFK and just collect rewards and gold. So I don't see this one being implemented because I think the whole reason why you zone into a new area is so that you have to keep on actively going into that new area and killing the boss. You can't just sit there. Now again, the kind of loot that's in there is, you know, it's good for newer players at the moment. You still want to slap on that loot and AFK. Or if you could AFK and just hit the boss and eventually it dies and you get loot, that's a good thing for them. But I don't see this ever being implemented. I don't think that's why it was designed that way. So I'm going to deny this one because I don't think that this one has a place currently in the way Giant Simulator works for AFK grinding gold like that. So that's all I have. That was a lot of player suggestions. I hope my thoughts, reactions, feedback were helpful to all of you on that, as well as my reasons for them. So I'd like to hear from you, thoughts on any of these, if you agree or disagree with any of them and why. It would actually mean a lot to hear why you disagree or agree with any of these and actually give me some reason why. Also for Mythril Games moderators or development team, if they see the video and read the comments, it might be interesting for them as well. But that's it. So I think this was great. This is again all player suggestions taken from the Mythril Games Discord. Link in the description box below. All information taken from them, and I want to thank the Discord for even being up with these player suggestions in there. So all credit to Mythril Games and their Discord server, and of course the players that did place these suggestions in there in the first place. All credit goes to them and these great suggestions. So this was just my reaction and my thoughts on whether or not I thought it was a good idea, bad idea, or if I thought it was indifferent and I didn't have any opinion on it. But that's it. So if you're new to the channel, please check out tons of Giant Simulator videos we posted. If you're not new to the channel, please utilize those comments. Let me know if you like this series. I think it's something I'm going to continue to do monthly. The player suggestions. I think it's a very, very good way to get your thoughts out there, along with my reactions and thoughts as well as a more high-end player. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and smash that bell for notifications so you are made aware when I drop new content. But as always, until next time, stay positive, keep swinging, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.